What is going on, guys? Welcome to bowl season, and we have your Heisman winner. It's Brian Street. Did you guys even think it was going to be anybody else? Look at the total votes. Like, it was pretty unanimous.
Well, Turner was competitive, but yeah, Street definitely got the nod with 180 plus votes for first place, the differential there. So, yeah, Turner was competitive, but Street, you are the Heisman winner. You are joining the Pantheon, and we have another Big 12 winner of this award.
3 straight seasons, guys, and you know, it's really hard to argue with 45 touchdowns combined.
Yeah, and it really doesn't matter who he did it against. I mean, if he picks up 100 yards in his bowl game, which we will get to momentarily, we have the big bowl reveal coming up right after this, then Street will be a 1,000-yard rusher, even though he did it in 14 games. Would have been 14.
Right, and the question will be, is he going to go into the NFL or is he not? And that would be the next question.
Yeah, and he's kind of in that Tebow mold where he's this run-first kind of guy, plays some elite defenses, doesn't put up the passing totals. NFL scouts are a little wary of him. So he doesn't project at this point as a first-rounder. We'll talk about that once we hit the offseason a little bit more, but that's the situation. Congratulations, Brian Street. He called it before the season even began.
Which is nuts.
I have no idea how he pulled that off. Pretty cool. Now let's get into our bowl reveal. Here we have ACU playing Arkansas in the Cotton Bowl.
So what does this mean? ACU is not in the BCS game.
Correct. Now, so ACU will be in the Cotton Bowl for the second year in this dynasty. They get a 7-5 Arkansas team, although they went 6-2 in SEC play. So this is a state matchup here, state rivalry. These two teams have not played in our dynasty yet. The last time they played was probably like 2008. I don't know when the last time they played.
Now he's making up lore, guys.
I'm making up history. So these teams, they don't like to play each other because, you know, think of Arkansas and why they never play Arkansas State. You guys have ever realized this? They don't play each other. Arkansas pretends that Arkansas State doesn't exist. So it's kind of the same deal. Like, they don't want to find out who's better. They want to just leave it a mystery so they can sell the recruits, sell them on the pitch. No, we're better. They never want to find out. Well, now you're going to find out in this Cotton Bowl. Next game up, Alamo Bowl, Washington, checking in at 7-5 in a tough Pac-16. They had a great season last year, one loss season. They beat Nebraska State in the Alamo Bowl, and now they draw Camu.
That's going to be a tough game. I still think Camu would have the edge in that one, just because they've got a lot of weapons.
And they've won 5 consecutive games to close out the season. This team's on a roll. Struggled the last time we saw them against Odessa, but should be a fun game. I think you might see some points in this one.
Yeah, we'll go over our more in-depth previews, but this is just kind of the reveal right now. But yeah, early stages, I'd probably take Camu. And here is the All-State Sugar Bowl. Number 4, South Carolina Gamecocks against the number 10 Broken Arrow Wranglers. Now, the matchup here for this BCS game is the Heisman winner versus the Heisman number 2.
That's hilarious, because I didn't think about that. But yeah, Turner versus Street.
Yep.
And they are going to decide this on the field, whose team deserves to win, and I'm sure both of those guys will be still competitive. I mean, Street won the Heisman, but it's not without
some questions.
There's some doubters out there.
Yep.
There's people that voted for Turner with the first place ballot.
I think about 200 people voted for him in the first place.
Yeah, and this will be fun because both these guys are going to have something to prove, I think. Should be pretty interesting. Next game here, we have McAllen drawing Southern Miss. McAllen going to the Armed Forces Bowl. That's in Fort Worth, so it is a bit of a drive because McAllen's kind of all the way south, but they should have home field over Southern Miss, I would think. But
yeah, McAllen fans should travel.
It's a tough draw, though. They're getting a 4-4 Conference USA team.
Well, they better get it done.
You're right. Now, Rutgers is playing Nebraska State. I love this matchup for Nebraska State.
It's finally you get a good matchup in your bowl game.
I think we should win this one, but
it's gonna be fun.
We've lost both of our bowl games. We lost the first year against ECU, which is always stuck in my craw. And I think it's a craw.
In your what?
Craw.
Look it up, kids.
It's a phrase. It's not a R-rated phrase.
I understand. Is that for the Rutgers logo?
No. Okay, so this game, I think, like you said, it's a pretty evenly matched contest. I think I should have the advantage for once. We'll see what ends up happening.
You want to go to Buffalo Wild Wings to watch that?
Sure.
I always say that with Buffalo Wild Wings Bowl.
Yeah. Now, what do you think about your matchup? American Athletic Champion Kansas State.
Awesome. Sweetness. Ardmore, against all odds, ends up with a BCS bowl game appearance. Now, a lot of people were crapping on us throughout the season, saying they're falling off a cliff, they're done, get out of here, your time is over with, and yet here we are, yet again. We're here.
Correct me if I'm wrong. I think you were 2-3 in conference play. Either that or 3-3, but you closed out the year with those big wins. I think you won 3 in a row. You beat Shreveport, McAllen, and ACU.
It took some time for Stanfield after that Hicks injury. It took some time for him to get into that mold that we wanted him to be in, and kind of the offense was clicking just like it did with Cade Wilson, which was our year number 1 quarterback, which really helped us push to this number 7 ranking here. And honestly, the last time we played Kansas State, because that's obviously going to be something that a lot of people are going to talk about, especially the ESPN analysts, they always love to bring up past results, even though the teams are totally different. We destroyed Kansas State.
Yeah, but
on the road.
They might be better this year at 12-1.
They could be.
American is pretty good at, it's the Big 12 leftovers plus what is already in the American, so it's a pretty good football conference. I think that'll be a pretty fun game, and I love it when you lose early and people just write you off and forget about you. But at the end of the day, 9-3 in this Big 12 is a very good season, so Ardmore deserves, I think, to go here. Maybe not as much as ACU, because ACU is 10-2, and they are a game better than you in conference. I would lean towards giving ACU the bid, but Ardmore beat them head-to-head in the end, and so they're going to go.
Yeah, there was a lot at stake at that game, and but yeah, through the body of work, even if I was being honest, I would say ACU probably deserves it, just because they had some pretty good wins early on in the year.
Yeah, there's a little bit of controversy there. Pittsburgh playing Little Rock, 5-7, the Loser Bowl. In the heart of Dallas. Wow. Yeah, the Loser Bowl. What do you think? Do you think 5-7 teams should go to bowl games? Even if they run out of teams, should they just cancel the bowl game?
No, I don't think you can cancel bowl games. But
get an FCS team.
You could probably have found another 5-7 team that didn't go 2-6 in their conference.
Yeah. Say, hey, Eastern Washington, you got bounced in the first round of the FCS playoffs. You want to play in the Heart of Dallas Bowl?
They should do that, yeah. Exactly. That'd be a really good thing for that program. I think that's something they should consider.
You know what, though? I think Little Rock will actually be excited to be here because they only went 2-6 in conference. I think they know that they are a quality football team. I think they think that they're better than what they showed this year, and this will be a chance to prove it. So hopefully they show up. Holiday Bowl, Oregon, Denver Tech. We got a rematch. 3rd time in 2 years that Oregon will play Denver Tech. You think, they're just going to roll over. They destroyed Oregon in September.
You know, I'm going to go with the sneaky little upset here.
Well, don't make your pick yet. But you already did. Yeah, Denver is trending down, so they need to pick things up. This is not the same team that we saw earlier this year. Little Caesars Bowl.
I'm going.
Love it.
I'm going. You know what? To the 2 games I'm going to, guys. I'm going to Little Caesars Bowl, and we're going to Buffalo Wild Wings to watch the Rutgers and Nebraska State game. I'm going to this game.
Now,
Down to Detroit.
This will be fun because Northern Illinois is a defense-first, low-scoring. When Rod Carey was there, he really, I would argue, Rod Carey handicapped Northern Illinois from reaching their potential. But they have a system that they've stuck with. They love to run the ball and play defense. And what does Shreveport like to do? Run the ball and play defense. This game will be like the winner, whoever wins, so it'll be 16-13 will be your final score.
Yeah, I was going to say like 10-6.
You're going to go a little lower. Now, Meineke Car Care Bowl. You got Oklahoma, Midland State. That should be a fun game.
Hey, shout out to one of our subscribers, Braden Austin. He's going to have a tough time picking this game. He loves Oklahoma, and he's had his avatar as Midland State for quite a while.
Look at Midland, man. They got punished for losing to Broken Arrow.
They lost 10 spots.
For losing a championship game against a quality top 15 opponent.
The game's broke, guys.
Yeah, it really is. Oklahoma struggling. They are struggling in this Pac-16, and Ardmore Broken Arrow have taken their thunder away in the state of Oklahoma. They need to do better. Brian Street wins the Heisman. And he wins the Maxwell. And he wins the Walter Camp.
Good Lord, clean up, Brian Street.
I think he wins the Davy O'Brien. Bruce Hobbs wins the Chuck Bednarik Award. Street, Davy O'Brien, just cleaning up the hardware. Jody Sunday gets the Outland Trophy for the top offensive lineman.
Well
and
deserved.
therefore, the Remington for top center.
You know, and that's the big thing with these guys is that even Eric Trichtinger also won some hardware as well.
Yeah, and Price Greer didn't. I believe he won the Lombardi last year. So he might be adding to his collection in his NFL prospects. Jeff Lockheed gets the linebacker of the year. So, man, the Big 12 is just cleaning up. Chandler gets the Thorpe. And Beauchamp gets Lou Groza. All right, let's take a look at the All-American team here. I thought we might see a little more Big 12 offense on the board.
For the first team, yes, but possibly, maybe, the Big 12 was just beating up on itself throughout the year, so I would expect to see a lot more second-teamers.
Yeah, you know, our receivers, we didn't have anybody that really stood out at wide receiver. Like, a lot of our teams have multiple targets, and we like to spread the ball around. So obviously, Street at quarterback. Oyatunda came back, surprised a lot of people. Gets the left guard spot on this team. Jody Sunday at center. Terry Sims, again, another guy that decided to come back. Price Greer, of course. Todd Parker. Congratulations. Justin Keys, and we know why he's All-American, is that one game against Utah. I believe he had 5 sacks.
Yeah, it was something like that, yeah. The guy just went off.
That's how you can make the All-American team with one game. Neil Ramsey gets middle linebacker. Harlan McCorders.
Had a lot of interceptions, and I don't know exactly how many, but I know they had quite a few.
7 picks this year.
Yeah, a lot. So he's going to probably be like a round 2 or round 3 corner.
He's looking pretty good. Warren Jones out of Camu at safety. Bruce Hobbs, safety. Beauchamp at kicker. And then, surprise, I thought Uzuma Okafor might get returner, and he did not.
We'll see what happens on the second team.
Oh, again, nobody. We didn't get anybody at receiver or tight end or running back. Benny Delgado, left tackle. Ziola at center. Azugwu, right guard. Joey Shanka.
Wow.
I called it. I said he was going to get All-American honors, and he did.
That's insane.
We'll go over the stats in 1 minute. Galarza at defensive tackle. Kenny Braverman, all those tackles.
A lot of tackles, guys. And luckily for us, we had a player like this coming from, he was originally a safety that was able to move to middle linebacker. Like, what is that? So, he must have had good size.
Yeah.
That's going to help him in the draft.
Yeah, and Lockheed gets linebacker of the year, second team All-American. It is what it is. Chandler, top cornerback, second team All-American. Spurlock at corner, Connor Gatlin, the man who can't tackle.
Yeah, interesting. I would have probably went a different direction there.
Cedric Granger, senior season, All-American honors. Charlie Taff, they were not able to bring home a conference championship. Sad stuff. But you can hold your head up high, ACU. You had a pretty good run. Can't win them all. And again, no Uzuma. Freshman All-American, Jacob Canatella. Congratulations. And again, I thought I'd see some receivers. Anybody? Bradica at safety.
I kind of expected that one. You know, he's an 81 as a freshman. He's going to be really, really good by the time he's a junior.
He's a
It's
stud.
just a matter of time.
And James Harris got a lot of playing time right away. Pitched in. I saw him out there miss a couple tackles, but I think by and large he played pretty well. Acquitted himself well. Jameel
There
Carter,
we
returner of the year, freshman.
All right, so let's take a look at the Big 12, the all Big 12 first teamers. Street, of course, the quarterback. Claudio Keller, even though he was hurt, he still won the honors to be halfback number 1 for all Big 12. Jamil Schmitz, interesting, you know, he was on the first team for all Big 12, but he didn't make all NCAA number 2, so
Yeah,
there's a lot of conferences to go through, but
Yeah, he didn't they didn't lean on him as heavily this year as they have in the past. And it just is what it is. But Anthony Yarborough, yeah. I can't believe Nebraska State's offense is getting some love here. Nathan
You guys
Rowe.
were good on offense. What are you talking about?
Yeah, Keegan Coleman. Really the only tight end, I think, that gets a lot of targets.
A lot of love. Him
Except
and
for Buchanan.
Well, even then, Buchanan didn't do a whole lot, but I felt like even McAllen's tight ends.
Yeah, Maddox and Bonaventure.
Yeah.
Delgado, Oyatun to Sunday, Ozugu, Terry Sims. We saw all those guys. Greer, Shanka, Parker, Keys, Ramsey, Lockheed. Isaac Larson, guy that steps up and makes a lot of good plays on defense. McQuarters, Chandler, Jones, Hobbs, Beauchamp, Carson Collette, and
there you go.
So we went over all those. We saw most of these players on the first and second team All-American. Let's look at the second team Big 12. No surprise, Harkless Blair.
Hey, there's a lot more of my guys.
You see some Ardmore players?
Fritz, Riggins.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, my guys.
You're
my
your
boys.
team's players. Seidel Riggins, yep. Cassidy Morris, Marlon Swift, Cody Joseph.
Wow, okay. All right. Freshman tight end, yeah.
Like it.
Sweet.
Tremblay, Ziola Ferguson, Rondell Cooley. Trickinger this year gets second team. He might have a year left. He might go pro. He's going to have a decision to make. I'd like to see him come back just because we like to keep the players that we had at the beginning. A.L. Garrison at left end. Willie Grant. Galarza at tackle. Sergio Armendariz had a great career. Good on you, mate. You're probably going to be a first-round draft pick.
Seems like all the time when we do a lot of the sim games, all these names show up at some point in the game. So, very well deserved. I know what all these players can do.
Yep. Custom recruits.
Apollo Warren, sophomore linebacker, 84 overall, man. He's going to be a good one. I would expect him to make first team Big 12 next season.
Yeah, he's probably going to... He might even break out in a big way next year. And then Braverman, going to lose him.
Yeah, but he's got that versatility that I'm really happy for him for draft prospect.
Armand Hammer, one of those studs. Spurlock. Brothers had a couple pick sixes this year, I believe. Gatlin, Granger, Charlie Taft, Ucel Mogul, and Roberto Allen on return. So those are your all Big 12 teams. Let's look at some stats, and then we'll get into bowl games. All right, let's start with ACU and their situation. Caleb Matthews got in at Wildcat a little bit. 5-7 this year. So the Russell Vajic conversation, I mean, they never strayed really from Vajic. They gave Russell some looks. He did end up with a better rating than Vajic did. Vajic had 19 touchdowns and 12 picks. Russell was 4-1.
And it's really, really strange, guys. I mean, look at Vajic's overall rating as a 94. Like, he shouldn't be that mediocre.
Yeah, I mean, he threw too many picks for his own good, for sure.
Really held that offense back.
The running totals here, Nick Reed, 533, Leonard David, 298. Vajic did have a pretty good season rushing, though, with 6 touchdowns, although Russell was actually a better rusher, too. I don't know what that is.
On average, yes.
Yep. Jared Kirk, you got Nick Reed, one of the top receivers on this team with 52 catches, Kerp and Lundahl. So these guys had a pretty good go of it. Kerp is going to be gone. Lundahl should be back. Ostrander with the 5 touchdowns, and then lightning quick. We saw his 1 touchdown this year, but he only had 2 catches on the season. Jimmy Ireland, 19 for 236. Let's look at the defensive numbers. Granger led the team in tackles with Hammer, Chandler, Churchwell, Washington the second. He's another one that'll be interesting if he comes back. He doesn't have anything left to prove at this level. Sack totals, Price Greer led the way, 8.5. Parker, 6.5. And then interceptions, Chandler 3. So they didn't turn the ball over that many times through the air this season.
All right, taking a look at Ardmore's statistics here. John Hicks, I mean, look at the... Man, this is crazy, isn't it? How the 2 differences in offenses worked for both quarterbacks. Hicks completed 111 passes, played way more games than Stanfield, but we threw more with Stanfield. Just felt that, you know, the way that both these quarterbacks operate, he's a pocket passer, he's a scrambler. And look at the differential here. 13 touchdowns, 7 picks, 10 touchdowns, 4 picks. They basically were the same type of quarterback, honestly, through the air. And Jeremy Wilson got into that one game against ACU, helped us win the big one. And then Dalton Beebe had a pretty good one too. with 1 pass. 1 for 1, so he's 100%. He's good. DeQuandre Shook led the way with rushing, and we wanted to make a concerted effort this season of running the football more with John Hicks at quarterback. And looking at the two productions here between Shook and Hicks, it was very effective, over 1,300 yards between the two. Xavier Wiggins with 5 touchdowns, so he was a red zone target, as well as Jake Wood. Brent Guerrero also got some looks, as well as Odell Streeter.
So a lot of mouths to feed.
Yeah, we got some pretty good backs coming back, and what we really wanted to do was, you know, we knew we were going to lose DeQuandre Shook and Jake Wood eventually. Like, we got a plan for that. So look out for Wiggins, Guerrero, and Streeter moving forward. Let's look at the receiving totals, and you know, we didn't throw it a whole lot with John Hicks. Only 45 receptions for Tyrell Hibbard. The next highest being the running back, Shook. Tratnick basically was non-existent this season, with only 1 measly touchdown for him all year long. You know, I mean, he was better than that. Overall player, 90. We should have been utilizing him a little bit more. Zach Flores had 5 at an 80. So, yeah, throwing the football wasn't our forte. And we're actually losing a lot of receivers, and we'll go over that in the offseason video. But hopefully, you know, a guy like Tyrell Hibbard can play well in his bowl game to vault himself into the draft. Take a look at some defensive numbers here. Kenny Braverman leading the way with 82 tackles. The next highest being Adrian McCool at 63. Morgan Ewing, a corner, was getting in a lot of tackles too. And Gilroy and McKinley. I mean, we gave up a lot of completions through the air, it seemed like. Tackles for losses, Kenny Braverman with 15. And he's a zone coverage guy. So he can do it all, it seems like. Apollo Warren had 11 tackles for losses, 7 sacks at linebacker. So
that's pretty good.
Yeah, he's going to be a good one to watch out for. Florencio Woolridge is a sophomore. I mean, he's going to be able to step in for Jasper Hodges once he leaves. I'm really excited about this defense moving forward.
All right, let's look at Nebraska State's numbers here. Ben Shinosky technically had a higher rating than Cameron Willis. And I know some haters are going to take issue with that, but you can't argue with the numbers here. Willis threw 3 picks. Shinosky only threw for 7. Why does it say TB?
He had tuberculosis.
What is that? Okay, Shinosky, 20 touchdowns and 7 picks. Played pretty well. We look at the percentages. Let's look at took 22 sacks. That's quite a bit. 68% to 59. So, I mean, I have nothing against Willis. I feel like if I started him, I would do fine with him. He's an 85 now. We started this dynasty. I believe he was a 68 as a true freshman, or a redshirt freshman. But Shinosky just gives us that spark, you know, when he can move the pocket. You know, he's a little bit faster than Willis. Just likes I like what he gives us. That's why, and he's a custom recruit. That's why I roll with Shinosky. Just full disclosure. Dante LaBelle.
But Willis is your guy, though. You made him.
I was planning for him to be my guy. Things don't work out. Dante LaBelle led the way on the ground. The redshirt freshman, 604, 7 touchdowns. Finally healthy. I'd like to see him get to 1,000 next year. That would be a good stepping stone for him. Shinosky with 246. Hargrove, though, did pitch in. Had the same yards per carry. He scored 5 touchdowns. Only on 55 carries. Nichols for 94. So it's funny, our running backs are pretty young, so maybe lean on them next year. I think that would be a good strategy. Yarborough, look at the touchdowns.
It's insane.
Compared to the rest of the team, Okafor had 5 touchdowns on 8 catches.
He's wildly efficient.
Yes, he is. And Yarborough had 11 scores with 60. Compared to the rest of my receivers, I mean, Swan, technically my number 1. I don't usually throw to my number 1 guy. He only had 33 catches this year. Vivaldi had 52 and 469. He only scored once.
Is that almost like you don't like even throwing with your number 1 guy either?
I don't like throwing to the outside. Oh, I get what you're saying.
Da-da-da.
I get what you're saying. Let's look at the defensive stats. See how our guys did. Joey Shonka racked up 11 sacks this year.
I did not realize that.
He was making a lot of plays. A lot of clutch plays, too. McElderry, Payne, Jordan. I mean, you see a couple of these guys, seniors, Jordan, Cortland, and Williams. I liked what Brenton Ward gave us, 14 tackles for loss this year. INTs. We really didn't get very many. Zaire Sullivan had 3. And that was about it on that front. All right, kicking Ben Chinoski, 10 of 14 this year. Longest was 45. His range, though, really struggled. He was not the best kicker
Can you blame him?
From deep. So
he's focusing on playing quarterback.
I know. He hurt us against ACU with a couple missed easy field goals. Only punted the ball 20 times this year. I don't think that's very realistic, but it is what it is.
All right, let's take a look at Amarillo's stats here. D.D. Dukes, a lot of people were kind of crapping on him last year and, not being really that good. Russell Springer was supposed to be that guy. And now looking at D.D. Dukes' numbers, he stepped in and he did just fine. 28 touchdowns, 12 picks. He was pretty good.
He stunk it up against Midland State. That's where a lot of those INTs came from, but 66% on the season. Gotta like it. Sykes and Dukes and Duckett really, they spread the load quite a bit. They did lean more towards Sykes later in the year because he's just got more upside. He's younger. Although, look at Duckett's yards per carry, pretty good. Ezekiel Henry, again, a 6'5" running back.
Dude, he's going to be a monster.
Yeah.
So, Amarillo's got a young running back core here, even with Ross.
Yeah, and
Ross
they got
right
that number 1 guy out of New Mexico is coming in. That's another weapon to add. Gamble, the senior, led the way at receiving, 720. Sutton, another senior. So Quan is going to step in and take over the number 1 role next year at receiver. 5 touchdowns for him. That was pretty good. And then Sutton with 6, Gamble 9.
Yeah, this offense was a major factor for why even Amarillo was even a threat to anybody this season. Defense, not so much. It was pretty bad. We all know about Broken Arrow.
Yeah, 34-8 for
Really
Street.
good.
Christian did not throw a touchdown this year. He went 4 for 7. But yeah, Street, 283 per, 73% completion percentage. There's a reason the guy won the Heisman Trophy.
That was all season, guys.
4.9.
73%.
4.9, that includes the sacks, 90-yard touchdown run. He had a couple touchdown runs over 40 yards this year. 11 total. Chapman finished about 200 shy of 1,000. And then Louis Preston will take over next year. He had 3 touchdowns on the ground. Nathan Rowe eclipsed 1,000 yards. Benefield with 714. Obviously lower because he's lower yards per reception out of the slot. And Cassidy Moore is 15.9 with 10 touchdowns.
At 5'7", guys. By the way, he's a 5'7" receiver.
Now here's the problem. I'm just looking ahead here. Senior. Alex Makovich puts together a kind of low-key Heisman campaign. He actually got some votes, even though he missed about 2.5 games, really. 19 touchdowns, 7 picks, 26-26. Beverly came in this year, filled in pretty well. You see Schmidt just shy of 1,000. He should get there after the bowl game. Makovich 674 with 12.
That's pretty good running the ball.
And then Beverly was the number 3 rusher this season as the backup quarterback. Scroggins, he is the scapegoat for the loss against Nebraska State. And then Scott Thomas came in 32 carries this year. He should see more of a role next season with Scroggins and Schmidt out of the picture. And then the receivers chipped in more with DeLeon Sanders. Had the most receptions on the team. Technically the number 3, maybe even number 4 receiver. I think Hushka might be the 3 guy. But in terms of yards, yeah, Humber and McCullough led the way. Hushka with 7 touchdowns. So they'll be an interesting team to watch. They're going to lose some wide receivers as well next season.
Jace Freeman in this new look Camu offense, they'd been working on it late last season and then spilled over to a full throttle understanding of the offense that they wanted to run, and it showed. 19 touchdowns, 8 picks. They still ran a lot of the option stuff, but to throw 2,700 yards and 19 picks and that much efficiency right there, that's a pretty dang good campaign.
Yeah, it's a culture change that they had to go through.
Being a 93 and a sophomore, he's only going to improve.
Yeah.
But they will be losing this guy, Jake Fritz. 201 attempts, only missed 1,000 yards by 3 yards. So some of the tackles for losses, he's probably really kicking himself for it. But
yeah,
I mean,
he's got 1 game left. He'll get it.
Yep.
Aurelio Boggs with 468. So they're gonna lose their top 2 rushers, but they do have Doug Flores, and Jameel Carter will be back there too, along with Diego Dobbs. So they have options. See Fritz with 9 scores, Freeman with 7. Top receivers, Matt Moreau, he really flourished in this new look offense.
Yeah, he did. And, I don't think they had a single receiver over 500 yards last year.
Yeah, I don't think they were close.
So the fact that you can take that much of a leap, if you're Matt Moreau, you definitely helped your draft profile this season as well. Put yourself on the map.
Yeah, Irvin had 6 touchdowns. He led the way there. Fritz put 316 on the board. That's pretty good for him. Dontari Weeks with 482. Let's see, Jameel Carter had 5 grabs for 72. I'm sure he's going to play a bigger role as he matures and gets older as well.
That's a large average, man. That's actually good for, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4. That's 4th.
Yeah.
I know there's not a lot of sample size, but that means he's still explosive.
Yeah, and he had 34 tackles this year. You get no INTs, but yeah, Jameel is going to be a force. He played nickelback this year, so he got in as a return man, as a Wildcat quarterback, backup running back, and the number 5 receiver. So we're going to see more of him in this dynasty for the next 3 years.
He better be real good friends with the oxygen tank, because he's going to be playing a lot of downs. For as bad as people thought that Gunnar Rivers was playing, he played miraculously well for this season. 36 touchdowns and 9 picks, and he wasn't even in the Heisman conversation simply because of the Battlehawks team not winning games. If they were, he would definitely be in the running.
Yeah, those are some pretty shiny numbers right there.
And this is why he sent out the tweet earlier before the Broken Arrow game against Little Rock.
Yeah, some people have been saying he's overrated. Maybe he's just not noticed because of the way Little Rock was playing this year, but he had a few games where he really lit up the opposition, so good job for him. Isaiah Green led the way with 784, Monet with 280, and then Gunnar had 141 of his own. We'll see the receivers. He's going to lose some guys, though.
Yes, he's going to lose Shamar McFadden. He's going to lose Kenny Puck. McBride is a freshman tight end.
Yep, Luke
will stay.
Yeah.
Yep. But Omar St. John, he's a senior. Dante Bridges.
Yeah, he's got a couple guys, but that's about it. There's some new guys coming in, though. Like they redshirted some guys. And so it'll be a new look at receiver for this team next year. Be interesting to see if he can repeat those numbers.
Honestly, but here's some other analysis, some side analysis here, is when we look at the overalls for these receivers, other than McFadden and Puck, they weren't really all that good. Like Lonnie Luke is I think an 83, yeah. St. John's an 85, so they're decent, but Gunnar was able to throw 36 touchdowns with those guys. You can give him nothing, and he'll be fine. We'll just see how he does next year. What a fall from grace this had been for Harkless Blair.
He had a pretty good start to the season. First game was a little shaky. Did not play well against Nebraska State or Ardmore, but he really did put together a pretty good campaign. But like you said, he did sort of fall back out of the Heisman race after a couple duds. But 24 touchdowns, 5 picks. I think he'll get the 3,000 against Southern Miss in their bowl game. And then he also had 709 rushing with the 10 touchdowns. So that's why people liked him as kind of a dark horse Heisman guy. Malloy Jr. had 706 with 7 touchdowns. Evan Eveland got hurt, but he was a big factor at the beginning. He's going to be gone. And in steps Andres Buckley, who we saw really break out against Shreveport in their final matchup there. And we see the receivers. Carson Jackson, bit of a lackluster career. He had a huge first season with Jed Carmichael, but ever since then, his numbers have been trending downward in a big way. He won the freaking Bolitnikoff with Jed Carmichael, and he couldn't have left that year, but he could have left the following season. And I wonder if it's just the quarterbacks and the chemistry.
Yeah, that's the key question, isn't it? Because we don't really know. We don't really know. The only thing that we can see and analyze would be the numbers. They went off as soon as Carmichael left. So whether that was Carmichael making Carson Jackson, or if it was Jackson making Carmichael? We don't know. But the only thing that we do know is Jed Carmichael's playing really well out in Miami, too. So maybe he was just a really good quarterback. And he found Carson Jackson open a lot.
Yeah, I think Jackson is that guy that gets really hyped up and then it doesn't really have the numbers to back it up. But I think the scouts know that he has the physical tools that you can work with that'll still get him in that first round conversation, but we'll see where he ends up getting drafted. Barrett Love with 716 and 9 scores. Malloy had a pretty good year receiving as well. And then Matt McDaniel is going to be one of the guys that has to step in because Love, Jackson, and Gutierrez are gone, as well as Bonaventura and Castro and Ledbetter. So you think this team is going to lean on Harkless next year running the ball? Because I do. All right, Dexter Whiteside, let's look at his numbers. He threw the ball 501 times this year. I want to see the interception total. Here we go.
I'm going to say it's... That's what I was going to say.
15?
I was going to say 15.
I didn't let you finish. Yeah, Dexter Whiteside should get 4,000 yards in their bowl game, but the 15 picks, not good.
No, that's a lot. That's a lot. Now, if it was like 25 to 10, that's a 2.5 ratio, that would have been fine.
Yeah, now we're talking. Running the ball, Keller had 1,000 yards. It's a conference that doesn't run the football that much. I think he's going to be a really good pro. I think he's going to be one of the top running backs coming out. Might be, it's hard for running backs to go first round, but talking second, third round, and fantasy draft, Claudio Keller might be one of those guys. Now they're going to lose Pence next year as well. Whiteside only 36 rushing. They really abandoned the run at the midpoint of the season, and they went full pass. Marlon Swift, 86 catches with 8. Harper had 50 for 808. Vargas was 710. Dallas Wynn had 4 touchdowns. Interesting to see who ends up coming back, because you see Neely and Wynn are juniors. You're going to lose the top 3 guys there, and then they're going to get... Well, Treadwell's going to be going too.
Even some guys that you redshirted for this season as well.
Well, yeah, Rex Austin was injured. And we'll see down here. There's McKinley Harris. Redshirt freshman, had that game-winning touchdown against Denver Tech. Only catch of the season.
But hey, that's going to be one that you're going to remember as a freshman for sure. You're going to remember that for the rest of your life, and even going into your sophomore season. You'll be like, yeah, I'm the guy. I'm the guy who had that one catch.
All right, let's check out the Odessa State situation. This was kind of a juggling of some competing interests.
Just inconsistency, man.
Yeah, Danny Booker had 26-56 there, 22 scores, 9 picks. Pat Dowdell, 837 with 7 and 4. And then Johnson Jr. had to come in. Johnny Johnson Jr., 2 for 9. So these guys were not adjusting well to the offense. You see Dowdell, 58% completion. Danny Booker managed it okay. He had 67%, but it wasn't that great.
Yeah, they're going to have to do some things in the offseason to figure out how the heck they're going to get more production out of Pat Dowdell or whoever steps in here at quarterback. I know that there was there were some question marks on who was going to be the guy, and, neither of them played very well. So, with Booker leaving, that kind of leaves the door open for competition. We'll have to see what they do to spark the offense, because this is a program that wants to, light up the scoreboard. I mean, we already know that Montana Flynn was already doing that, and they want to keep with that. They've got Paris Austin now at wide receiver. Yeah, they want to keep it going.
Let's look at the running game here. Sweeney was 642 and 6. DeMarcus Gibson pitched in pretty good there. Dowdell had 100 yards and 2 scores. They want to lean on him running the ball next year. I think that's going to be the answer for this team, which might be a bitter pill to swallow for a team and a coach that prides themselves on the passing game, but you got to play to your team's strengths, Sweeney led with 55 receptions, had 4 receiving touchdowns. Khalid Livingston with 842 and 5. So you see Rivera, Sisk, Livingston, Skinner, they like to spread the ball around.
I think Rivera's like a 4th rounder.
Yeah, I think a lot of these guys will be drafted. You're going to see these guys play at the next level for sure next season.
Shreveport started off the season really hot and then kind of just fell off. I think they just lost their way a little bit. They kind of got a little bit too, I don't want to say greedy, but they got in a little bit too far out of character. They wanted it too badly. And, Jacob Canatell is not that type of guy that's going to be slinging it all over the field. I know he's a pocket passer right now, but he's a freshman. He's got a lot of learning to do. 17 touchdowns, 10 picks.
He's got room to grow. I would plan on him getting better as the dynasty progresses, obviously. And we'll see where he ends up. Seidel Riggins was a 1,000-yard rusher.
244 attempts.
Yeah, I thought they might give it to Allen and spread it a little bit more, but
100.
Yeah, they just wanted to ride Riggins.
Good
like
Lord,
a mule. I probably used that analogy last year with Wingo, but
yeah,
it holds true.
That's what they do, man. They just grind you out. If you're a running back, you know you're getting the ball at Shreveport.
Yeah, and then Herschel Gates.
That's insane.
Going to be gone, but
700 yards and 41 catches.
17.7.
That's a lot.
7 scores. They should get Marks back. Jay Ballmer as a true freshman custom recruit, 283 with the 1 touchdown.
He had a good year as a freshman. Yeah.
Cole Fleet's going to be gone, so there's going to be some targets to go around next year. Guys like Travis Jackson, custom recruit, 6 grabs for 99, and you'll see some new faces for the Shreveport receiving crew. We'll see how they do next year.
So you saw Wrigley's picks. He's getting himself in on the fun yet again for bowl season. So who do you guys have? Google form, link in the description below, and as well as a pinned comment. So obviously a team builder prize is on the line. If you finish above Wrigley, you will be eligible for that prize. He could finish in last, and all of you guys would be eligible to get a prize. But
that almost happened last year.
Shout out. Dylan B. finished in last place.
The only guy who lost to the dog. No,
the most vocal Denver Tech fan.
Don't let that become your fate.
Don't be a Dylan B.
You can beat Wrigley if you put your mind to it. Yeah, fun games on tap. I'm excited to see these, and let's get into it, and we'll talk about who we have.
I actually like Shreveport in this game, and I know what the totals say right there. 110th in the rush offense, 111th in the total offense. It doesn't look too good for Shreveport, but I think that they can just grind the clock out, man. They ran Seidel Riggins 244 times.
Yeah, I would say Shreveport has the edge defensively. I mean, they played in a much tougher conference. Teams airing the ball out. Northern Illinois is going to play into Shreveport's strengths defensively by not keeping up the pace, by not trying to burn the corners or the defensive backs. Give me Shreveport by field goal.
Oh, wow. Okay. Yeah, it's probably going to be pretty close then. All right, so Denver Tech and Oregon. So a lot of you guys might be thinking about this game and looking at it like, oh yeah, Denver Tech all the way because of what you know of Denver Tech. But I feel stupid saying this because I always seem to look for that sneaky upset against Denver Tech, but
it's happened 3 times this year.
Yeah, they have started to kind of fall off a little bit, and now we'll notice here, even against Little Rock. But against Oregon there in September, they throttle them 42-7. But I'm not looking at that.
Every game in Big 12 play was within 1 score.
Yeah.
For whatever reason, they did not blow out anybody in Big 12 play.
And I'm looking at the rush offense for Oregon. They're number 12.
Yeah, I think this will be a fun game. I think it'll be close. I'm going to take Denver Tech, though.
I will take Oregon.
You're going to go Oregon with the upset?
Yep.
Interesting to see if Oregon will be able to run the ball against DIT. And, I think that Denver Tech's got so many seniors and guys are going to be off to the NFL next year. I think they're going to want to leave with a good impression. They're going to get this W.
Oklahoma against Midland State. Kirk likes Oklahoma, and I'm not sure exactly why.
I don't either. That's interesting.
Because I'm looking at it, and the rush defense there, number 5 for Midland, number 2 in the pass offense. Whiteside can sling it.
Midland has a better defense. Yeah, even turnover differential. How was Midland +6 when Whiteside threw all of those interceptions?
They're giving Oklahoma the edge on turnover differential. The arrow says turnover differential -8.
Oh, yeah, that's weird.
Does that factor into Kirk's decision? I'm still going with Midland State, though.
I think that's right. Midland has played pretty well in our bowl games. They've beaten Texas and Colorado in this dynasty, and I think they're just going to show up. I think they have something to prove after that championship loss. Give me Midland. This one should be pretty easy. I think McAllen is going to Roll Southern Miss. Kirk is picking Southern Miss.
He's crazy. He's crazy.
Has he picked every top team? Is that his deal?
That's what I'm saying. He's probably high.
Wow. So maybe he's just stuck. He's a little computer program. He's just stuck.
He's stuck there
on the top teams.
Well, he's all confused too because of the turnover differential in the last matchup we just looked at. But yeah, I'm taking McAllen. There's too many offensive weapons for Southern Miss to handle here with a C+ defensive rating. McAllen should roll.
If we're doing those bowl confidence, McAllen gets my
he
gets my 30. Well, however many they're at now, like 41. Are they like 41? I don't know. I'm old enough. I remember like 24 was like your highest point total.
Yeah,
24.
That's hilarious that you mentioned that because as soon as I saw this game, it's the first thing I thought of. I was like, if I'm doing confidence, I'm putting it up there, way up there. Camu against Washington. This should be
Kirk.
Hey, a top team. But now we don't know if it's legit or not. Yeah, I'm taking Camu in this one, and the only reason why is Jace Freeman still has something to prove here. He's young. I like to focus on the young guys because they always have something to work towards and play for. And you start messing around with the senior group, you question their motivational reasons about why they're doing things. I think that Jace Freeman, Jameel Carter, the weapons that Camu has might be right on par with Washington, and I think it's going to be a really, really good game. I'll still take Camu though. They have too much stuff going on. I mean, look at them, man.
Yeah.
Look at total the offense and the defense. They outrank Washington in every category.
You know, when I saw
total,
when I watched Washington play, it's kind of like I remember that game against ACU where their defense played really well, and it looks like they continued to play well after that. Their quarterback play was really mediocre, and it kind of cost them that game in our season opener. Go watch that if you guys haven't. But I think I would give the edge to Kansas A&M. Like, I'm trying to find a reason to not pick team builder teams, and I can't find it right now. So I'm just going to go Camu and just stick with it.
Not in this matchup, I can't see it. Just look at the points per game. 31.9 to 23. That's kind of a large differential right there. Yeah. I'm going with Camu's offense.
Nebraska State taking on Rutgers. Rutgers rated as a B+. So this won't be a total cakewalk for me. Now, I mean, I'm taking on some really good teams like Midland, and I've taken on McAllen, and I beat Denver Tech. So B+, like, I'm not scared. But I recognize this for the challenge that it may be. What are your thoughts here?
Turnover differential. Take care of the football. Shinosky, don't be rolling out of the pocket, dropping back 20 yards, and then forcing fumbles. And
Rutgers is, yeah, they look like they're one of those spunky kind of teams. Plus 12 in the differential. We're -6 because we can't catch interceptions. We can't strip people with fumbles. I think our offensive turnovers are kind of normal. It's just we can't generate turnovers on defense.
Yeah, but I see 2 single-digit numbers that I really like to look at. Rush defense, pass offense. Number 8, number 1 for you, and look at Rutgers. They are middling, okay? You guys should be the favorites here, honestly.
I would think so.
I'm taking Nebraska State.
Kirk likes the top team.
Yeah, for sure. Kirk likes the top team. He's taking Little Rock in this one. And
it's a glitch.
Yeah, dude, I know we just talked about Gunnar Rivers and the fact that he's been baller all season long. I think I have to go with him again. I have to go with him again. I thought there for just 1 second I was going to take Pittsburgh, but I can't. Just look at the turnover differential. -10. Are you kidding me? The rush offense, 107th. They don't even try. Neither does Little Rock.
But they're better at throwing it though. I'm going to take Pitt. I'm just going to buck the trend. I can't see team builder teams running the table this far, so I'm just going to go. Just for the heck of it, I'll take Pitt.
So you're taking Pittsburgh to buck your trend. I'm taking Oregon to buck mine.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. It's not a true pick. Like I'm cheering for Little Rock. I think Little Rock could very easily win this game. I'm just gonna go Pitt, just because. These 2 5-7 teams that don't deserve to be in the bowl game. I don't care who wins.
All right, K-State against Ardmore, and looking at the matchup here, Kirk likes K-State.
Oh, surprise!
Yeah, they're on top, but. We only have 2 arrows. Kansas State has the rest of them. So, obviously, Kansas State's a pretty dang good team. And being 12-1, they deserve to be in that echelon.
It's one of the top teams in the country.
Yeah, it's going to be an extremely tough game for us. I know that we had mentioned that Stanfield was going to be our starter for the bowl game. But, there's a lot on the line here for Ardmore's future.
You think Hicks will be ready, though?
That's the question coming out of the training camp. Is he going to be ready? Is he going to be even ready enough to take on a K-State team that's boasting the number 7 total defense? What are we going to do? What's our game plan? How's this all going to work out? If anything, it's probably just going to be sticking to the run. Don't ask Stanfield to do too much. Don't even ask Hicks to do too much if he end up being the guy. And, we'll have more news later on as this goes out. You guys can make your picks and change your picks up until then. You can edit them at any time up until the lock time. But, yeah, before bowl season begins, we'll be sure to let you guys know what's going to happen and with that news. But I haven't made up my mind yet who's going to be the starter. And it's just, there's a lot on this game, man. If we win a BCS game, our prestige goes up. The recruits start giving us a nice little extra bonus here, and we need it.
Yeah, you're 1-1 in bowl games so far.
Yes.
Relevant information.
Yep. I'm going to say that Ardmore's going to win, but it's going to be grindy, man.
I think you'll win a classic Ardmore game 27-21.
Ooh.
UBA, South Carolina, BCS bowl game. Who out there had this in a BCS game?
Not me. My wife. I didn't pick UBA.
Yeah, South Carolina, kind of a surprise team. I mean, they have one of the best offenses in the country. Number 7. Look at UBA's turnover differential. They take care of the football. They cause turnovers. Very tightly knit group. South Carolina have the better overall defense, though. And we talked about this matchup earlier with Street versus AJ Turner. Kind of a fun little inside the lines kind of matchup with those guys. Heisman frontrunners.
This is where I'm going to start bucking trend here. And I'm not taking South Carolina just because of the ranking at number 4. I just look at the numbers, the team ranks. Number 38 in pass defense. So we've already seen how Brian Street can't really seem to throw the ball against good defenses, good pass defenses. And this South Carolina team boasts that. And they can run it. They can kill the clock. They have A.J. Turner. They're going to get open. They're going to get open lanes. But the one thing that I look at for UBA is, like you said, that turnover differential being number 2. They know how to force the turnovers. So if South Carolina starts slinging it all over the field, they start turning the ball over, it could swing to an UBA game, a game that they want to be in. But I'm going to take South Carolina in this one.
I will too. You might call me a Brian Street hater, but
I'm not.
I mean, look, it's a fact, okay? He doesn't torch the better defenses. They don't overwhelm him, but they do limit what he can do. And you look at the balance for South Carolina, so it's going to be too much. I think South Carolina is going to take it.
Yep, I think this is where the Heisman winner meets his match.
Oh, look, he got the Heisman, so he's good. Not taking that away. Cotton Bowl here with the 2 Arkansas teams. Arkansas plays Arkansas Christian here. And I think this is a mismatch. I'm going ACU all in. I'm all in on ACU. What?
Look at the turnover differential. 16.
Plus 16?
They're number 1. And I don't know how to read that. Is it because the SEC, for whatever reason, in this season was sloppy at quarterback play or running back play? Is that what the problem is? They just turn the ball over all over the place? Because look at the numbers. They're obviously 81 in total offense.
They're getting outgained per game.
It would seem like ACU is the team to get a W here, but if Vajic is the starter...
I was just gonna say, that's the wild card. That's the wild card.
If Vajic is the starter and they're so strong-headed that they don't want to run the football, even though they know their quarterback has a tendency to throw the ball to the other team, it could swing to Arkansas. This is a sneaky. This is a sneaky game.
Yeah.
Especially given how ACU's number 9, and this is 2 Arkansas teams.
There'll be a lot to play for both. Both squads.
I might be a weirdo here and take Arkansas.
ACU is 2-0 in bowl games. They beat Auburn in the Cotton Bowl in the first year, and then they beat West Virginia in a instant classic against Will Greer. In the Fiesta Bowl BCS game, So give me ACU. I think they show up on the biggest stages, the biggest national stages. You know, they still have not pulled through and won a Big 12 championship. But, you know, when they're on those national broadcast kind of games and they're just like, yep, this is where it is.
It's go time.
Yeah.
That could very well be, but I'm putting this at like a confidence of 2. All right, guys, so that's going to actually round out our bowl season preview. Remember to make your picks for bowl season on goldglovergaming.com in the pick center for NCAA Football 14, or you can go to the link here in the description and the pinned comment below. And remember, games start, so the first 4 games of bowl season are going to start this Saturday. So you have Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and early Saturday morning to get those picks submitted. You can edit your picks after submission in case you might think that, ooh, I don't know, maybe I shouldn't have trusted Gold on that Oregon and Denver Tech pick. I want to switch to Denver Tech. You can go ahead and do that, but all the picks, every one of your picks, guys, will lock on Saturday morning. So we won't allow you to change your picks for Little Rock and Pittsburgh or Kansas State Ardmore. But with the Ardmore game, I will let you guys know who the quarterback's going to be in a community tab update. So make sure you guys are getting updates for the community tab, and I'll let you guys know about that. That's my little ploy for getting you guys on that notification bell. So, guys, leave a like if you like this thing. I'd love to know what your thoughts are about the bowl games. Are you taken back by any of the matchups here? What's your favorite matchup that you are looking forward to? And who do you got? So we'll see you guys on Saturday morning. Leave a like if you like this thing. And if you're new to the channel, make sure you hit that red button for subscribe. My logo in the bottom right-hand corner. We'll see you guys then. As always, peace.